While deployed to Afghanistan, a Marine received a Dear John letter from his girlfriend. In the letter, she explained that she had been seeing other guys while he'd been gone and she wanted to break up with him. To add insult to injury, she asked him to send back the picture of herself that she had given him. So, the Marine did what any squared-away Marine would do. He went around to his buddies and collected all the unwanted photos of women he could find. In all, he collected more than 25 pictures of various women. He then mailed them to his now former girlfriend with the following note: "Please remove your picture and send the rest back. I don't remember which one is yours." 15 minutes into a flight from Los Angeles to New York, the captain announces,
"Ladies and gentlemen, one of our engines has failed. However, there is nothing to worry about. Our flight will take an hour longer than scheduled, but we still have 3 engines left."
30 minutes later, the captain announces,
"One more engine has failed, and the flight will take an additional 2 hours. But don't worry, we can fly just fine on 2 engines."
An hour later, the captain announces,
"One more engine has failed, and our arrival will be delayed another 3 hours. But don't worry, we still have 1 engine left."
At this point, a young blonde passenger turns to the man in the next seat and remarks,
"If we lose one more engine, we're going to be up here all day."
A man enters the patent office carrying some of his new designs. He approaches the clerk and says, "I'd like to register my new inventions." The clerk replies,
"Sure, let's see what you have."
The man places the first item on the counter and says, "The first is a folding bottle."
"That's interesting,"
says the clerk.
"What do you call it?"
"A fottle," replies the inventor.
"A fottle?"
asks the clerk.
"That's not a very descriptive name. Can't you think of something else?"
"I'll think about it," replies the inventor. "I've got something else, though. It's a folding carton."
"And what do you call that?"
asks the clerk. "A fartin," replies the inventor.
"That's just rude. You can't possibly call it that."
"Well, I do have one other product," says the inventor, "but I doubt you're going to like the name of that product either."
"What is that, sir?"
asks the clerk. The inventor replies, "A folding bucket." A man is speeding down a country road when he notices red lights flashing behind him in his rearview mirror. So he pulls over to the side of the road and rolls down his window. An officer approaches his car and asks him,
"Sir, do you realize how fast you were going?"
The man replies, "Yes, I'm really sorry about that, officer, but I have to go." The officer interrupts him,
"Not so fast. You're coming with me."
The officer takes the man to jail and tells him,
"You're going to have to wait for the chief to get back in a few hours."
After a few hours have passed, the officer tells the man,
"Well, you're lucky. The chief is on his way back from his daughter's wedding, so he'll be in a good mood."
The man replies, "I doubt it." The cop snaps back,
"Why do you say that?"
The man replies, "I'm the groom!" A young man is walking through a supermarket when he notices an old lady following him around. Thinking nothing of it, he ignores her and continues shopping. As he gets to the checkout line, she moves in front of him.
"Pardon me,"
she says.
"I'm sorry if my staring at you has made you feel uncomfortable. It's just that you look like my son who died recently."
"I'm very sorry," replies the young man. "Is there anything I can do for you?"
"Yes,"
she says.
"As I'm leaving, can you say goodbye, Mother? It would make me feel much better."
"Sure," answers the young man. As the old woman is leaving, he calls out, "Goodbye, Mother." When he steps up to the checkout counter, he sees that his total is $625.50. "How can that be?" he asks. "I only purchased a few things." The clerk replies,
Your mother said you would pay for her.
Eleanor, the local gossip and self-appointed keeper of the church's morals, kept poking her nose into other people's business. Several members of the church did not approve of her extracurricular activities, but kept to themselves in fear of retribution. She made a mistake, however, when she accused a new member, George, of being an alcoholic after seeing his old pickup parked outside the town's only bar one afternoon. Eleanor emphatically told George and several others of the congregation that by seeing his car there, everyone would know exactly what he was doing. George, a man of few words, stared at her for a moment, then just turned and walked away. He didn't explain, defend, or deny. He said nothing. Later that evening, George quietly parked his pickup truck in front of Eleanor's house, leaving it there all night. The world's foremost authority on wasps sees an old vinyl record in the window of a record shop. Wasp noises from around the world. Intrigued, he goes into the shop and asks if he can listen to it. "Certainly," says the shop assistant as he pops it onto a turntable. After listening to the first track for a while, the man is a bit confused.
I don't recognize any of these noises, and I'm the world's foremost authority on wasps. Can you play the next track, please?
The assistant obliges and skips the needle onto the next track. After a while, the man is still confused.
No, I don't recognize any of these wasps. Can you try the next track?
The assistant skips the needle to the next track, and the man listens for a little while longer before shaking his head.
It's no good. I just don't recognize any of these wasps.
Finally, the assistant peers at the record label and says, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir. I had it on the B-side." A man is getting a haircut prior to taking a trip to Rome. He mentions the trip to his barber, who responds,
Why would you want to go there? It's crowded and dirty. You're crazy to go to Rome. So, how are you getting there?
"We're flying United," the man replies. "We got a great rate."
United?
Exclaims the barber.
That's a terrible airline. Their planes are old, their flight attendants are ugly, and they're always late. So, where are you staying in Rome?
"We'll be at the downtown International Marriott," replies the man.
That dump? That's the worst hotel in Rome. The rooms are small, the service is lousy, and they're overpriced. What are you gonna do when you get there?
"We're going to go see the Vatican, and we hope to see the Pope," says the man.
That's rich,
Laughs the barber.
You and a million other people trying to see him. He'll look the size of an ant. Oh boy, good luck on this lousy trip of yours. You're gonna need it.
A month later, the man again comes in for his regular haircut, and the barber asks him about his trip to Rome. "It was wonderful," explains the man. "Not only did we fly in one of United's newest planes, but it was overbooked, so they bumped us up to first class. The food and wine were wonderful, and I had a beautiful young stewardess who waited on me hand and foot. Oh, and the hotel! Well, it was great. They'd just finished a $25 million remodeling job, and now it's the finest hotel in the city. They were overbooked too, so they apologized and gave us the presidential suite at no extra charge."
Well,
Mutters the barber.
I know you didn't get to see the Pope.
"Actually," replies the man, "we were quite lucky. For as we toured the Vatican, a guard tapped me on the shoulder and explained that the Pope likes to meet some of the visitors. And if I'd be so kind as to step into his private room and wait, the Pope would personally greet me. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, the Pope walked in. As I knelt down, he spoke to me."
What did he say?
Asks the barber. "He said to me, 'Where'd you get that haircut?'" 3 dinosaurs are out hunting for food when they come upon a shiny lamp. One of them rubs it, and a mystical blue genie comes out in a puff of smoke. The genie says,
I usually only grant 3 wishes, so I'll grant each of you 1.
The first dinosaur says,
I wish for a large piece of meat.
a large slab of meat materializes before his eyes and plops down in front of him.
I wish for a shower of meat,
Says the second dinosaur. A cloud appears and meat rains down on the dinosaur's head. Not wanting to be outdone by his friends, the third dinosaur thinks hard to come up with a better wish. Suddenly, he bursts.
I've got it. I wish for a meteor shower.
A man spent all his life alone, finding no love. At age 96, he dies and goes to heaven. At the same time, a woman who spent her entire life alone, finding no love, at age 102 also dies and goes to heaven. As chance has it, they both meet at the heavenly library, discovering they both have a deep love for books. They start talking, and amazingly enough, after a lifetime of unhappiness, fall in love. They walk up to God and ask to be married.
Give me some time,
Says God.
and I'll get back to you. This is quite extraordinary.
4 years pass, and after the couple waited patiently, God finally tells the man and woman that he can have them married. A few centuries pass, and the man and woman fall out of love. They approach God once more, and this time they ask, sadly, for a divorce. God responds,
It took me 4 years to find a priest in this place. How long do you think it'll take me to find a lawyer?